may have played poker, but playing poker in Texas is a different animal. This is the Texas Poker Podcast with Tyler and Clint.
Hello, this is the Texas Poker Podcast. I'm Tyler. This is Clint.
What's up, y'all?
And we are back with episode 20.
Episode 20. So, well, Tyler, I'm going to go straight to you because I don't even know if I know how to play poker. It's been so long that I actually played in a game at this point. So, it's something I like to read about and think about.
Well, I definitely have something for you to think about this week.
That's great.
This session I played, I mean, I know we named the podcast like episode whatever. We should name it this one. I'm not folding. That's basically was the whole theory, the whole theme of this session I just played.
I mean, when it comes to you, isn't that the theme of the last 20 episodes of, you're not going to get me off of this, right?
Kind of. But, okay, so after coming off of the 5-5-10 and then playing that other session, where I had two pretty big winning sessions, right?
Right.
I go back to 88 after the game not making and the list being 0 on the 5-5. I was like, I'm just gonna play 1-3 and just hopefully run it up, right?
Right.
As I always try. So I sit down, I start playing. I'd pocket 9, flop came king 9. I got very little value in that. Stuff like that, and then I end up getting hit pretty hard. I told you about this one hand that I had ace-jack on the button, and I was straddling, and someone made it 12, and it went call, call, call.
Do you normally straddle the button? I didn't notice that you do this a lot.
At 88 now I do.
Okay.
Because I guess it makes it easier to play. If everyone there is very deep stacked, it just automatically kind of makes the game bigger.
Okay. Is it kind of like if everybody else is doing it, you're doing it type deal? Or is it just like, well, it's my button, just going to do this?
Kind of both. And it also kind of depends who's in the blinds. If I think they're up to some mischief, I'll definitely do it just to have position on them pre-flop.
Okay. Okay. So you straddle, it's ace-jack, and it calls around to you?
No. They made it 12.
Oh, they made it 12. Okay.
Yeah. So I put in the 3-bet, and I've been playing very aggressive. Hadn't shown it down any hands yet.
Right.
First guy folds, is a really deep stack guy. The second pretty deep stack guy folds. A short stack guy puts in the call. He calls the 50 with 60 behind. The flop comes deuce 4, like 8, 2 diamonds, right? He checks it, I check it. The turn is like maybe like a 9 or something.
I'm shocked you didn't down bet that flop.
He only has $60. I mean, what would I down bet to?
I don't know. I mean,
30?
No. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean,
okay, solid point.
I mean, we're gonna need to make a hand here. Well, that's what I thought. So then he ships it on the turn, right? And it's just all low cards, no obvious straight. I mean, he called 50 pre-flop, so I was kind of like, well, I even asked him, I said, do you have a pair? Like, I mean, what do you have? Right? Is what I was asking. He's like, can I answer that? It's like, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. He didn't. So I put the call in for 60 because, I mean, the pot was relatively big. I mean, no, that's not why. I mean, I put it in because I thought he could be doing it with almost anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could have king, queen here. Like, I thought you had actually, when we discussed this earlier, I thought you had called this on the flop, and I liked it better on the flop. Because now, I mean, now that it's 8-9, but I mean, you're right. I mean, he could have, like, Jack 10 suited here or something like that, turned open-ended and just going with it or something like that. You're definitely up. Yeah, I mean, when it's this short stacked, it's very hard to.
It might not have been 8-9. It was low unconnected cards. So, I mean, it was nothing like. I mean, there wasn't. I just remember they were all under to 10.
I mean, he could be like king, queen, just going with it or something. Yeah, I got you.
So I call, and he had ace deuce suited. So he flopped the 2. No jack on the river. So that was great. So I lost that one. So I was kind of playing. Really wasn't playing very well.
I think it's I like that you're recognizing like variance versus just you're not playing well. I think that's super important for this getting better as a poker player. So I like that.
Yeah, well, I didn't like that I wasn't playing well, but I knew I wasn't playing well.
Right.
Got a few bluffs through. Made a few calls that were good, some weren't good. So I mean, got kind of short stacked. Here's an interesting hand for you. I'm in the straddle, the button straddle with Queen 10 of spades, right?
Okay.
The flop comes 5-6 Queen with rainbow, right?
Is there a spade out there?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have top pair and a backdoor spade draw. The turn. So I bet he called, right?
Okay, you're gonna have to give me more details than that. Okay, how many was it to the flop?
3.
3 to the flop, and okay, you flop queen.
I made it 25.
Okay.
So 75 in there, right?
Okay.
I bet I think I bet only like 40, 45 on the flop.
Okay.
Got it heads up.
Okay.
Turn was, I believe, the 7 of spades.
Okay, so now you top pair with the flush draw. Okay, I could argue for a lot of actions here. Like, what did you do?
He checked me. I bet 100, I believe, or maybe 70. No, I think 80. I bet 80. I put the 100 chip in, but I said 80. He check raises me to 250.
This is why I kind of was thinking the check back. You have the queen, you have the flush draw, you have the pair. I mean, I'm probably... You bet 100 and you made it 2... Okay.
No, I bet 80.
Oh, God, this is such a... How deep are y'all behind?
I think I have like 300 more. I almost thought about shipping it.
So,
Once I call...
So 8-9 is a straight, right? It's 5-6 and then turns to 7?
Yes.
I definitely don't like the ship at all.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I thought about it, though.
I'm going to say most likely any spade isn't out. Most queens are in... That's kind of even getting dicey. Most 10s would be an out. Man, if he has a straight... I don't know. This is a super, super dicey spot here. What did you end up doing?
I told you the theme. I called.
You called. Okay. Not folding here.
Brick on the river. This is where things get... I mean, this session is going to sound all sorts of horrible. You're not going to like many of these hands. He bets 200 again on the river, 250. So now I have top pair whenever he check raised whenever the spades came in. I wasn't drawing to nut spades.
I just don't know what you could ever be beating here. You've got top pair with shit kicker on a 3-card, where there are multiple, there's one obvious straight out there. Oh no, I think, and then there was not even a really good bluffing draw board. I mean, I don't know. I think this is a fold, right?
He had a straight.
Well, obviously, if you showed down a straight, this was a call for you.
I'll tell you that much. He had a straight. He didn't show it for free, so.
Okay, well, okay.
Like I said, not playing well. So he had a straight. I can confirm that with 100% accuracy. He had a straight.
Looking back, on the turn, with a queen and decent showdown value, but not getting a lot of value from worse, and wanting to realize your equity on the flush, I think I would have liked to check on the turn a lot more.
I agree.
I mean, not just because they're being results oriented, because I mean he did check raise, but I just feel like you got a lot of flush draw possibilities, and you're gonna get called by a lot of king queens, queen jacks on that turn.
Yep.
So, but okay. So, well, we already. I mean, we know the theme of the podcast, so we don't want to break from it. So I'm glad you did make the call.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I call, I add on for 1,000, right?
Okay.
So I'm in the game for 1,500. I have 1,000 in front of me. We end up playing for a little while. The table ends up breaking, right? So I have about 900 or something. Move to a different table. I have Jack 9 suited, right?
Okay.
The flop comes 10, 9, king. Right?
Okay.
So I have the gut shot to the queen.
Bottom pair.
And bottom pair, yeah.
Okay.
Someone, the original raiser bets kind of small. This was about three-handed.
This is pre-flop or to the flop?
This is on the flop. So
okay.
Pre-flop raiser raises. Two of us call. On the flop, he bets relatively small. I call, the other guy calls, right?
Okay, so 3 people, we're going to say the raise was 15 pre-flop.
Let's call it 20.
Yeah. Call it 20, 3 people, 20, 40, 60.
Yep.
And both people call the flop.
Which is about 25.
Okay, so we're looking at about 125 in the pot, 125, 130 in the pot. Okay.
Yeah. The turn brings I believe it was like a blank, and he checked, I check. The river is a queen, but it completes a flush. But it would have been like, I think it was like backdoor flush, right?
It completes the backdoor flush. Okay, so now it is 9, 10, queen, king on the board.
So yes, so I had so on the board, right, is 9, 10. The jack was in my hand, queen, king.
Okay, so you got the one card for the straight out there.
Yes.
Okay.
I bet. I think it was like 150.
Okay, I like this.
He puts in the call, and he has ace jack for the ace high straight.
God almighty. I mean, I'll tell you this. I think you got real lucky that it was that backdoor flush came in there.
Yeah.
Or else. Because, I mean, if he raises here, you probably have to call.
Yeah.
So that backdoor flush being the card that hit, at least that saved you some money.
I mean, it just saved me money that he didn't raise. I mean, I don't think I can put him on a backdoor flush like that. Whenever the turn comes backdoor and he checks it. I mean, if you turn equity, most people bet that, right?
Oh, I don't mean that you were folding if he did. I mean, he's raising if it's
yes.
not out there.
Yes.
This was my thought.
Right. And then here's kind of an interesting one that I played. So the straddle's on. I'm not in the straddle. I have pocket queens, 2 black queens, right?
Okay.
It goes 26. Call.
Okay.
This has to be a massive 3-bet, right?
Oh God, yeah. This is gonna be kind of light for what we do, but I think I'm gonna make this like 125.
I made it 175.
I mean, I know that's kind of like the formula we kind of use or whatever. I mean, but I do want some action, especially against hands that are going to be, I'm going to be beating. I don't hate that. I like 125 just to kind of encourage maybe a caller or two, because I feel like 175 takes it down a lot.
Nah.
Oh, really?
And it's going multi-way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
what kind of I do not understand how people play poker. Okay, so it's 25 4 ways.
26
4 ways. Like the original razor,
called.
I can understand that being a call. Anybody who did not have a strong enough hand to raise the original raiser and calls, cannot be calling $175. I mean, it's a $150 raise, and your hand wasn't strong enough to raise the $25. I mean, anybody who says poker is dead. I mean, it just has never been at a table around Texas, because I cannot think of a hand that even makes any sense here. Okay, go for it.
So we see the flop 3 ways. Flop comes king high. Guy open jams on me.
Oh, that's great. That's what you want to see.
So you know the theme of the podcast, right?
Oh shit, you're calling here? No. Oh, okay. I was like, oh my god.
No. I ended up folding.
Okay, I was like,
could you imagine? Yeah. So he opened jam for like, I think it was like 800 or 500, something like that. Regardless, I wasn't calling.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and make a crazy prediction. Good fold.
Yeah, he said he had ace king.
That seems likely there.
I told him he should have ripped it all in pre. I would have called. So I mean, I told him I'm just playing. I told the guy next to me, I'll just play this stack that I have now. I mean, it should be gone. I mean,
okay. Talk about results oriented as shit. It was 50-50.
Well, no, but I'm saying I would have called either way.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. You're definitely calling. Yeah.
If I'm that guy with ace king there, I'm ripping it in on me.
Yeah. 100%.
See, that's what I'm saying. Should have done it.
Knowing that there's a king, okay, let me go with this. Knowing that there was a king that was gonna hit the flop, yes, he would have got the max amount of money.
Well, it doesn't matter. I would have done that regardless if I was him.
Oh, me too.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, even if you don't know the flop, I still think he should have jammed all in there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, because for me, like queens not so much. Queens are just calling, I think. But it's that open jam. But it does put like weird like tens and jacks and ace queen and stuff like that. It makes a lot of hands that would do this in weird spots. So yeah.
Right. So I was like, well, I got to keep playing for a bit, right? So
right.
That's fine. I take down like a medium-sized bomb pop, and then I get hit hard again for another hand. And I remember, do you remember the low that I text you at, like how low I was at? Was that like 275 at one point?
Oh man, yeah, I remember. Like I remember getting a text saying I'm in for, I think it was 1,600.
No, 15. I had already bought time the week before,
or
the session before.
You were in for 1,500, and you're like, I got like 300 in front of me or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is not going well for you.
Yeah. So I mean, it was not going well, and I was sitting there thinking like, all right, well, I ended up taking down a decent sized bomb pot where I jammed all in and chopped it.
Wait, you're skipping over a hand. Didn't you say you called like thinking somebody was on a bluff?
Wait, that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we were already down so low. I was like, oh, well, let's not gloss over that hand. That seems
No. So then I ended up hitting a few hands right before the table broke. I won like the last 4 in a row, and I ended up with about 500 in front of me.
Okay.
So I took down a pretty big bomb pot because I had 2-3 of spades, and I flopped trip deuces, turned the spade, and then I jammed all in. He folded.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I had nothing on the other board. So I took that down. So that put me at about 500, right?
Right.
And so we moved tables, right?
Okay.
And you know how we always people always tell like their bad beat stories.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the other guy's bad beat story.
No, you're glossing over a hand, right?
No, this is it. It's his bad beat story.
No, I know which one you're talking about. But okay,
which one are you talking about?
Okay, there's one that you're like, okay, I just called some guy was bluffing, and he was showing his hand.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I did forget about this hand. Okay, so I had there was a front. So basically, the moral of what happened was we played a hand. I had second pair. The front door flush missed, right? Mm-hmm. Some guy bet pretty sizable, like $75, and it went fold, went back to me. And whenever he was in mid thought, he went to show his hand to the table. He threw it down, but I only saw the 3 of spades I didn't see the card, but I was already like in the process of calling, kind of thing. Like in my head, I was gonna call. I was already kind of about to call. But then he shows his hand and then picks it up real quick, right? But I only saw the 3 of spades.
Right.
So I end up putting in the call, and he had top pair.
Okay. Well, actually, that makes a lot more sense because on the text when you were texting me, all it said was, "I just thought this guy was bluffing. I called while he was showing the table his hand." I was like, "Oh God."
No. Like I thought he was bluffing, and I thought he was going to show the table a bluff, but I was still like looking at the board, debating.
And that card you saw made it more likely that he was bluffing and missed the flush draw.
No, here's the worst part. That card made it less likely he was bluffing. It was the hearts that missed.
Oh, well, shit. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, not playing well today. Not going to act like I was playing well.
It definitely seems like it was one of your off days.
And it was one of those things, too, where it's like he showed it so quick. I only saw the 3 of spades. I thought he was bluffing. I was like, a 3 here doesn't really make much sense. Has to be a bluff. But I was already in the process of calling. If I would have thought about it maybe a little bit longer, I don't know. It was weird. Then I called and everyone's like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh no, I lose. I can't beat top pair." But he had already showed everyone top pair.
Yeah, this is going off the rails
and
for you quickly.
They were like, "You didn't see?" I was like, "Well, obviously I didn't see. If I would have saw, I would have called. I wouldn't have called. I only saw the 3."
That's a good analysis.
But I mean, like, I should have been able to see, but it happened so quick, and I was looking at the board. Like, if I was looking at his hand, I would have saw. Like, it was out there to be seen.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because if you're focusing looking somewhere else and something's in your peripheral, you don't really see it.
And he was directly on my left.
Yeah.
And then, like, he showed his hand. I didn't see it. I only saw the 3 of spades, but I was still looking at the board debating, like, how a flush draw could get here.
And blow, yeah.
Yeah, is what I was really thinking about. And I was like, I mean, this would make sense for a flush draw to do this. And then, and then I saw the 3 of spades, but I was already in my head, like, I think I should call. I'm going to call. And then I saw the 3 of spades. I was like, oh, no, I'm calling. Like, I was already, like, in the process. I was like, no.
You already made your decision.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, he was like, he called. I was like, yeah, no, man, I called. Like, it's fine. Like, I know I lose. It's fine. Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. Not my best moment.
We've all had a time or two.
So then I was down. I went to the other table with about $500, right?
Okay.
So now this is the hand that I was just like, oh, God. This is going to be someone's bad beat story here, right?
This seems, okay. This seems very, very messy here.
I was like, well, I'm probably going to be heading out relatively soon, I think. And I was like, I don't know. I had played with this guy before, and I've seen him bluff before with nothing, right? I have 2-4 suited.
A monster.
Monster.
Okay.
Someone at open. I'm in the big blind. I call. Sorry. Wait. How would it have worked? It must have been the button straddle opened. I called his bet from the big blind, which is disaster. But I did it anyway. He puts in the 3 bet down to my left, right?
Okay.
I'm ready to muck the cards. The straddle calls. So I was like, me, how bad can it be? I call.
How much was the 3 bet too?
Let's say 55, 75.
Oh God! And how much is in your stack?
You're getting hung up on the details. Let's get to the flop. I have a little bit over 500 in my stack. I told you it's going to be a disgusting story for you.
Okay. I tell you what, it's setting up exactly like that.
Flop comes queen high. Queen, 4, 6, 2 clubs.
Well, you flop bottom pair.
Bottom pair, yeah.
Okay.
Check it over to him. He bets, I believe it was 125.
Okay.
Something like that. Maybe 100. Right? Around there.
Okay.
Other guy folds. Said, I'm not folding. I'm going to just see what happens here. I'm putting him on ace king. He's going to bet big here, and he's going to bet big on the turn.
Oh, God.
I already know in my head.
You're calling. So you've already made it in your decision. You're calling the turn unless the ace or king hits.
I would like to say yes, unless. But we're calling.
Okay.
Turn brings a jack. Check it over to him. He bets big. like 150, 175. I'm not that guy. I'm calling, right? Put the call in.
I mean, because ace, jack, ace, queen, king, jack. Not in this dude's range.
Very unlikely.
Okay, gotcha.
The river is a 4.
Oh, my God. You are such a son of a bitch.
So you know what I do?
Jam?
Ship it on him. He calls so fast. This is like my second hand at the table. He calls so fast. He turns over pocket kings.
Oh, God. Tyler's like, and I slow roll the 4.
Well, I threw my hand over. I don't think people
Yeah.
realize, like, they're like, what are those cards?
You can't have deuce 4. That makes no sense here.
Yeah. So, and everyone's like, yeah, deuce 4. And I was like, 4 is my lucky number. They're like, yeah, he didn't even think about that. And I'm like, I know. I said he should have thought about that. Tell him that's what got me there, really.
And Tyler's like, they were suited.
No, I was a great kicker. No, so that was a gigantic hand.
I mean, it sounds like a gigantic hand. I mean, deuce 4, good Lord. I mean, talk about fucking. I mean, oh my God, you are the luckiest SOB, man.
I told you it was going pure punt. I mean, it had gone off the rail. I would just remember thinking, like, I'm not folding.
I mean, as you're scooping the chips in, you're just like muttering to yourself, what a donkey over there.
Until the end. And there you go. Like that. He played the old 2-4.
Yeah, kings. Come on. Play a real hand.
Yeah. So then, right after that, I have 10-8 suited, and I flop a gut shot against the same player. And then he bets, I call. Turn, I miss my gut shot. He bets, I call. River brings in a flush. I size way down. Like 1/3 pot, $100. He folds.
Oh, God. Did you show?
Of course I showed.
This poor guy. This dude's. I hope this dude saved whatever money he's left for whatever therapy he's gonna need after this session with you.
So he was a little discouraged after that hand. He got up and took a break.
Good call by him.
So I showed that bluff, and then I had another bluff where I had queen 9 offsuit, and the flop came ace king 6 with 2 clubs and a spade. Right?
You flop jack shit. Okay.
Kinda. And then guy bets out pretty big, I call. The turn is a king, so it brought club, spade.
Okay.
So I checked, he had bet big. So then I let out pretty big. Like 250, 275.
Are you just trying to get an ace here to fold, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see.
Or possibly a flush draw.
I mean, well, possibly a flush draw. I mean, wait, shit. Are you trying to get a flush draw to fold? Are you going for value here with queen high? I mean, I am so confused on what's going on here.
No, we're full bluffing, but I'm saying we're trying to give bad odds for a flush draw. I'm saying if you have a flush draw and the board pairs, and now you're going for a flush on a paired board, could get a fold from someone with something like that, or an ace, right? Sure. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
He folds, and then I get to show queen 9 offsuit.
I assume you might have had him beat here, though, right?
Nope. He had an ace.
This is such a bad fold by him.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, but when the board pairs there, I know it's scary, but it's less likely that you have. And when there's a flush draw and then it brings another flush draw, I mean, I don't know. That could be so many things. He has a call with an ace there.
But he folded.
Yeah, this one's kind of, that was definitely kind of on him.
I mean, yeah.
Especially considering, was this after you showed a 10 high bluff?
Like 2 hands later.
I mean, okay. The other guy with the 10 high bluff and that you're rivering trip 4s on, that guy I feel sorry for. But I mean, if you're folding ace to your ass at this point, I mean, that's just on that person.
Yeah, whatever. So, I mean, I'm just telling you what happened. I don't recommend playing this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I also don't recommend folding the ace.
Yeah. Same here.
So, Now I have, like I said, this session has just gone just off the deep end, right?
Right.
So now I have 9-7 offsuit. Flop a gut shot multi-way.
God damn, man. Okay, how many people are in the flop?
4.
4, and you flop a gut shot. Okay.
Yep. But it's a flush draw board, so I'm like, I need an offsuit 8 right now.
Oh, Christ. Good God. Now we're calling for 3-outers? That's when you know you're running well, is when you're just calling for fucking 3-outers and thinking there's a shot.
So everyone bets the flop. I call because I need an offsuit ace now. Right?
You called?
I called. And you know what we got?
An offsuit 8.
An offsuit 8 right now.
I hate you. God, I hate you. You're a horrible human being.
So now I'm setting out the hay for the trap, spreading it out.
Uh-huh.
It checks through. I'm like, God, dog. I was like, this is all sorts of not working out.
So not only did you call, needing a 3-outer, you got no value on the turn.
This is correct.
Okay, cool.
So on the river, bricks out the flush draw. But I'm like, well, no one's folding to me.
No one should ever at this point.
So I have the nut straight.
Okay.
So I bet 110 into probably 22, 4, 6, 8. So it's about pot.
Okay.
I get a call, and I'm way good, she said.
I mean, good call by her, because, you at this point, nobody should be giving you any respect at all.
Right, which is great for this next hand, because I then get pocket kings.
Oh, man, this is the time to get pocket kings when you've been showing down shit for, an hour.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, not playing well, but, this is exactly what happened. So I open up for 20. I size up because my quote-unquote nemesis, I guess, the guy who I've been bluffing and hit the 4 on and stuff is in the hand. He's been 3-betting me pretty heavily after that.
No.
Yeah.
You kid.
Yeah, he has been limiting my fun. So,
okay.
So he's been 3-betting me a lot. So I size up because he's calling literally every hand I'm in, or 3-betting me in every hand, right?
Okay.
So I was like, this is great. I'll just size up, get value. I call. Sorry. Wow. I bet. He calls.
Well, how much did you size up to?
20.
20?
But I'm opening the pot.
Okay, I got you.
I would normally make it 15. That's an exploit of $5.
There you go.
That's how you print money. So, I make it 20. He calls. I get 3-bet to, what was it? He made it like 65.
Was it their nemesis guy?
No.
Okay.
No, that guy I assume has nothing all the time. So I actually put in the 4-bet. Because I didn't really want that guy hanging in there with whatever he was having. If I flat that 65.
You flat 65, he call. Yeah, now you're up against 2 players. Now, I usually I know, the strategy is for 4-bet with kings all the time. But, yeah, no, I like this 4-bet here.
Then it becomes, this guy covers me still. I have 1,000 whatever in front of me, but he still covers me. We're still pretty deep. And if I call and let him see a flop and, kings get cracked every day, right?
We just saw it.
Yeah. So I put the 4-bet in to get him out of there. He folds. And then the original 3-better, my raise was to put him all in. He goes all in. I call the other, $20 or whatever. Run out's clean. I'm good. We're now down 4-handed at 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'm counting my chips. I'm like, I think I'm up. I might be up. And I was counting again. I'm like, oh my gosh. I've turned that $275 into about $1,650.
And you were in for 15.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, we have open seats for you guys. Who wants to go? And I was like, it's already 4:30, 5 in the morning. I was like, I'm out.
Oh, you just clawed your way back. Out. Just stuck for, $1,300 almost. And now you're up over $100. Yeah, good call leaving right then and there.
Yeah, and like I said, none of those hands were played well. The kings maybe, but
I mean, you're gonna get sucked out on, a ton in poker. So it's nice to be the other guy sometimes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It does not feel great knowing you're drawing to 10%.
It feels great when you hit.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was that session. Ended up grinding back. It was a pretty long session. I think might have been like 6 hours, maybe something like that. But let's see, 6 hours. So, I mean, that was basically the whole session wrapped up for you.
That's great. I'm glad. I'm glad even. I mean, those were both the last session and the last podcast and this one super interesting. Glad you're taking up the slack because, like I say, I don't even know how to play poker anymore. I mean, I know how to work in the medical field in COVID units. I mean, that's about all I know how to do anymore. So that's pretty much it.
Right. Well, here's the one thing. So you kind of talked about last episode that you were studying a little bit of PLO. And I guess you're just doing nothing but study. I thought, were you playing a little bit of like online or just messing around with it? It's going pretty good, right?
Yeah, I was doing Poker Bros, and I was just doing some concepts on PLO. I tried to, a while back, I tried to learn PLO through Crush Live Poker. And I find their stuff really, really good to, if you already have like a base knowledge, at least for PLO, maybe not Hold'em. I already have a pretty decent sound knowledge of Hold'em when I subscribed to that site. But I was trying to learn PLO, and it wasn't clicking very well. Because when it's going video, and they're like, well, this hand's kind of good. This hand's kind of, I mean, it doesn't work real well if you don't have the base knowledge. I picked up a book by Jeff Hang. I think it's the Power Strategy or something like that. In the first, 2 chapters I tried to read, I was like, this doesn't really do well. But on the third, about 20% in the book, he started kind of going over some stuff, and everything started clicking more and more and more. And I'm like, I can start to see kind of edges in PLO that I didn't see before. And me and you had always wondered, how much edge is there on a game where the equities run so close, but it's a lot of implied odds. People drawing just the crappier hands, less implied odds. I mean, basically, if you've got a bunch of players in Texas who are playing any 4 cards, let's say, they're playing King, 10, 6, 3.
Yep, that sounds like a good starting PLO hand, right?
Yeah, you could see this all day, because I see a lot of players who play every single hand.
Especially on that reverse button.
Yeah. So now they're kind of limited on either flopping a boat, king, 10, or they need queen, jack for an open-ended. And you're and they need real specific flops. Well, if you're limiting your hands to maybe something like queen, jack, 10, 9, and stuff like that, well, now there's 1,000 flops that hit your hand. I mean, any queen, jack, 9, 10, 10, 9 will hit 2 pair and a straight draw. I mean, there's just a ton, and I started to put a lot of it together. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still very much a beginner, and I kind of picked this up out of necessity, because in College Station, there's a lot of round of each.
And not only round of each, you're playing 5-5 round of each, which can be steep.
Yeah, and it was a lot of high-low and stuff, but I've noticed there was more and more PLO high. So I kind of picked this up out of necessity, but as I started learning more and more, I was like, okay, I'm starting to see where kind of the edges might lie. So since I haven't been able to play a lot, I've been doing a lot more study, and I definitely think I'm going to both do the round of each. It's gonna help me there, and I think I might even play some straight PLO here and there, even when I come to Houston. I might give it a shot. It's like I say, in Houston, where there's so many people playing so many bad hands, I definitely think it leads itself to where it could definitely be a profitable venture.
Here's something I would find really interesting is if you went to a table at 88 PLO, I don't know how deep they play or whatever, but let's say you just bought it for 300. If you would still see people playing every hand, how different would it be from the round of each or the reverse button PLO hands?
I don't know, but I think the difference is you would have better players there, but you would still have a lot of I mean, I see a lot of people at PLO who they are there because they want to gamble and not fold.
Yeah, no, I mean, that would be a really interesting topic if you came back with some of that. I know not any time in the near future because you're working a bunch, but
I'll try to get after this stretch this week. It should slow down. I mean, I'm trying to play some poker next week. At some point, I'm going to try to play some straight PLO, and I can go to Johnny Chan's or something like that, and let you know kind of how, from a beginner's perspective, like what it's like.
Well, I guess actually when this podcast comes out, you'll probably be playing because this one's going to come out in a few more. You'll be done working that horrible schedule, so
yeah.
By the time we record the next one, you probably will have time to have tried it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see so many mistakes in those games that I feel like it's worth it to at least take a shot. I mean, I will say this. I saw a $2,000 call in that first time I ever played 5-5, and the guy misread his hand and had nothing, and then called almost $2,000.
Clint's like, it was very expensive for me. No.
So, yeah, it was, I mean, I wasn't in the hand, but I was like, oh, maybe this is something I should be playing more often.
I could definitely see if that's your normal game. Maybe check it out some.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on that note, we'll maybe just conclude it here with that session. Like I said, the whole theme was I'm not going to fold, but it's how the session ended up working out. Got super lucky, river to 4, then bluff some people into some other hands to grind out a tiny profit. But I don't know. I guess we'll see how that PLO comes along.
Yeah. Well,
kind of cool to have episode 20 in the books.
Yeah, 20 straight episodes. So let's we'll keep on grinding it out. Hopefully, I actually have poker to deal, and hopefully for you. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we can hope for any better for you. Hopefully, you keep rivering trip 4s and shit like that
Yeah.
to just have people lose their minds.
I mean, my last few sessions have been so good. I didn't even include the time I hit quads. So there you go.
Wow.
All right, I'll talk to you guys next week. This was the Texas Poker Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We'll see you guys next week.
That was the Texas Poker Podcast. Go ahead and rack up, add time, and we'll see you next week.